Welcome. This presentation walks through a research pilot submitted to the Journal of Facilities Management titled Embedding a Structured Inspection Model in Outsourced Commercial Cleaning. The core idea is simple, but in this sector, surprisingly novel. Commercial cleaning is a risk-bearing facilities management function, yet it is almost never governed through documented audit trail measurement the way other building systems are. Over roughly 19 weeks at a single commercial office facility in Greenville, South Carolina, SGHG Cleaning collected 53 daily service checklists and 21 structured quality inspection reports and asked a deliberately modest question. When a small cleaning operation adopts a documented four-pillar inspection model, what does the record actually show and what governance value does it carry? That honest data-backed framing is the heart of this study. Here's the gap the study addresses. Facilities managers carry real accountability for cleaning. It shapes occupant safety, hygiene, and liability, but the way cleaning is overseen lags far behind other building systems. 3 points stand out. First, visual checks are a weak basis for judging cleanliness because a surface can look clean and still be contaminated. Second, although facilities management theory insists that good indicators must be quantifiable and operationally grounded, no sector-specific documented indicators existed for cleaning. Third, cleaning is genuinely risk-bearing. It touches safety, hygiene, and organizational liability. So the study asks one focused question: can documentation itself function as a governance mechanism? Not a grand claim, a testable, practical one, answered with the records this operation actually produced. This is the model itself. SGHG organizes cleaning around four pillars: safety, green, hygiene, and growth. Safety covers slip, trip and fall hazards, chemical storage, protective equipment, and incident flags. Green documents eco-compliance, certified products, waste sorting, water, and energy. Hygiene records surface verification, restroom sanitation, and high-touch disinfection. In this pilot, that's inspector judgment, with instrument-based testing planned for later. Growth tracks workforce development, retraining flags, and follow-up actions today, building toward competency tracking over time. But here's the key insight. The model's real power isn't any single pillar. It's the documentation discipline it enforces. Every entry is time-stamped, electronically signed, and audit trail. Two simple instruments carry it: the daily service checklist and the quality inspection report, or IQIR. That IQIR, with its dual source defect attribution, is the governance instrument at the center of this study. On method, the study is deliberately careful. It's a single embedded case study in Yin's sense. One facility, roughly 13,000 square feet, a multi-tenant office in Greenville. The observation window ran 19 weeks, from late September 2025 to early February 2026, as one continuous operational period. 74 records were analyzed, 53 daily checklists, and 21 inspections, with 20 of the 21 inspections done by a single designated quality inspector. What I want to emphasize is the discipline on the right. Because this is one site with no control group, the analysis is purely descriptive. We report counts and proportions with their denominators, and we deliberately report no t-tests, no effect sizes, no capability indices, and no return on investment figures, because the data can't honestly support them. The data come from routine operational records, not instruments built to flatter the study. This is framed as a proof of concept theory building case, not a generalization. That restraint is a feature, not a weakness. Now the findings. On the left is the quality score distribution. Of the 21 inspections, 13 carried a completed banded score, and those cluster firmly in the acceptable 80 to 89 band. 9 of 13, with 3 reaching excellent and 1 falling to needs improvement. Importantly, the 8 unscored inspections aren't hidden or imputed. They're reported honestly as a sign that form completion discipline was still maturing during early adoption. On the right is the finding I find most interesting: the dual source defect decomposition. Across 27 recorded defect marks, 18, about two-thirds, where client created things like cardboard left beside bins, clutter blocking access, or food waste. And 9, about one-third, were genuinely provider controllable, such as supplies not restocked or trash not emptied. The numbers are small and should be read as indicative, not definitive. But the capability they demonstrate is the point. The model produces a documented basis for separating contractor failures from conditions outside the contractor's control. This is where the study moves from interesting to consequential. Operating in a documented, inspection led way had a concrete external effect. SGHG's shift toward inspection and oversight, evidenced by those timestamp ICURE records and a defined inspector role, supported a request to re-examine its workers' compensation classification, which had been based on traditional janitorial codes. Two quotes on the same estimated payroll, about $70,000, make the difference tangible. The initial quote rated the operation under janitorial class 9014 at roughly $2,100 a year. After the classification review, a subsequent quote rated it primarily under class 8720, inspection of risks, at about $1,100, buying eligible. Same payroll, same intermediary within 2 months, so classification was effectively the only variable that changed. Roughly $1,000 lower, about 48%. I want to be honest about the caveat because the paper is both are estimated audit condition quotes, not final bound policy premiums. So this is a documented quoted differential, not yet a realized saving. And the manuscript says exactly that. Let me pull the threads together. The contribution is threefold. The documentation can serve as a governance mechanism. That dual source decomposition can cleanly separate provider controllable failures from client created ones, and that these records can support a real external administrative outcome. Here, an insurer's classification review. The limits are stated plainly because credibility depends on it. It's one site and one organization. Only 13 of 21 inspections were scored, and the counts are modest. There's no control period and no comparison site. The inspector was internal, and at the time of the pilot, the same company both cleaned and inspected. And there's no instrument-based hygiene, slip, or chemical measurement yet. So no claims are made about those. Finally, the roadmap. The path from pilot to a validated framework is concrete. Instrument the 4 pillars with real measurement. Run a measurement system analysis before trusting any new instrument. Design a genuine baseline versus intervention comparison with match controls. Expand across facilities and contractors and test the insurance economics on bound audited policies rather than quotes. Pursued in that order, this honest single site foundation can grow into a validated facilities management cleaning governance framework built on real data. I want to close with thanks. Special thanks to James Polifka, Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, for assisting in this research. His inspection support and methodological input were valued throughout the pilot. And to recap the takeaway in one line, even a simple, low-cost documentation system run honestly across a single real contract can function as a genuine governance mechanism in outsourced commercial cleaning, producing an audit trail, a defensible separation of provider versus client responsibility, and consequences real enough to reach the insurance classification. The work is modest in scope, honest about its limits, and explicit about the validation steps ahead. Thank you.